Yo. Yeah, it says we're live. Yo. 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 How's everybody doing today? Make some noise.
Yeah.
That's all you get when you're 55. They got, their lungs got to warm up. Shit, I know what's going on. Hey, I know everybody out there. It's Soup Man, Dante Barnett. You know what? I ain't got my video on because this ain't my damn show. You're goddamn right. I ain't ready. I'm Sweatsuit Man right now. But welcome to Social Security Influencers 4. We've got a great weekend of actual entertainment on Soup Man Productions this weekend. We've also got Dating with Disabilities tomorrow with Emmanuel Flounders. And then we're going to have Autistic Artist with Bridie Schellenberg as well, who's a comedian. So we've got a ton of stuff for you this weekend. But up today, we've got Social Security Influencers 4. This is the fourth time around. Everybody on this show has probably been alive longer than most of you motherfuckers watching it. That's just how it comes out. You know what I mean? Like, you should have heard the shit they were talking about earlier. Do you remember turntables? No, I do, but half our audience hasn't had an 8-track before. They don't even know what a fucking 8-track is. They're not going to know what a turntable is. But anyways, we've got a great show for you today. We've got comics from all over the country. We've got comics from California to DC to Oregon, and our host is even in Texas. I believe actually Mark's in Florida right now. So shit's crazy. But with all further ado, I think I've got everybody awake. They know we're here. Give it up for your host with the most, the guy that runs Ye Old Comedy Mike. Give it up for Al Coseglia!
Thank you, Dante. You got me excited. You know, we got to be careful at our age. Very happy to be here. This is our 4th Social Security Influencers. It's a great program put on by Superman Productions. We appreciate Dante and the opportunities he gives to comics like us who are old and don't get as many opportunities. So we're glad to be here. Welcome to the early bird special. Do it any other way. We've got a great show for you today. 4 comics from around the country. You're going to love them. They will make you laugh. And the bottom line about the show is we're old. We're all old. Me, I'm 71, damn it.
Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Al Coseglia. It sounds like Alka-Seltzer. Fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief I is. That's an old person joke. Mr. Speedy was the Alka-Seltzer guy. I just performed at the historic Firehouse Theater in Farmers Branch, Texas. Historic, built in 1958. What does that make me or us? Prehistoric. Just something else that's younger than us. What do we worry about? Well, a 71-year-old worries about death, dementia, and disability. And we're all triple threats. That's what happens. A few months ago for my birthday, a local comic posted, "You are missed, Al," with a heart emoji. So now he's dead to me. Yeah, getting old is scary, right? You know how I know that? I heard a 19-year-old comic on stage locally say, "Getting old is scary." 19. She's not growing old, she's growing up. And that might be scary. Then she gets on stage, she looks like Little Orphan Annie, and she's funny. And I get on stage, I look like the old guy from Up. I just got into the comedy world a few years ago, and as all of you know, we're in the minority. Most of them are very young. And I would go to the open mics, and I would sit around with them, and they've had colorful backgrounds. And I noticed that some of them wear ankle monitors. Well, I wanted to fit in. So I got a life alert. I'm fitting in. Now they want to play with it, and everyone's wondering, why are there ambulances coming to the open mics? You know, every 11 minutes, someone's life is saved with a life alert. I say, who cares? They're old. Let them die.
Oh.
Oh.
Cold.
Dementia. Let's talk about dementia. You know, one of the ways to decrease the chances of dementia is to fall asleep quickly. Yeah, I've never had that problem. And I don't count sheep. I count the women I've been with in my life. I never get to the end of the list. Number two, no, I only have two on the list. You know, it's hard doing things like this at 71 and remembering your jokes and hoping you don't repeat yourself. You know, it's hard doing things like this at 71. Remembering your jokes. And hoping you don't repeat yourself. My disability is social media, okay? You know, Facebook. I'm like everybody else. I post something, I scamper back to find out how many likes I got. Oh, I got 9 likes. It's ridiculous. And the dating apps, women tell me that men post pictures of themselves holding fish. Let's face it, you know, there's no women out there that think, oh, you know, he looks like he's adventurous and fun. I think I'd like to have sex with him. No, there are no women that think that. Don't post pictures of yourself with fish. Don't send dick pics. Unless it's a dick pic of your fish's dick. That's okay. That may make them think they want to have sex with you. So it all boils down to, I hate being 71. Who wouldn't? I loved being 69.
Yeah.
I would tell people, hey, I'm 69. They would say, nice. Now I say, hey, I'm 71. Yeah, exactly. They don't say anything. Nobody- So to stay connected to 69, I like to tell 69 jokes, and that's what I'd like to end on today. So I'm going to say you love about 69, and you're going to say what? Okay? You know what I love about 69?
What?
What?
It's slow, but thank you. Yeah, I know what comes after 69.
Ooh.
You know what I love about 69?
What?
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 Thank you. There is no talking. I'm Al Coseglia. I'm 71, unfortunately, not 69. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. We have a great show for you today. Let me hear it. Let's get some energy going.
Woo!
That is really weak. All right, here we go. From this comic runs a program called Comedy Walks in Washington, DC. It is 90%, it's 90 minutes, 70% hysterical, and 50% facts. So he went to the Yogi Berra School of calculation. They do it on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. He's been a regular on Ye Olde Mike. Here he is from somewhere in Florida, Mark Palchick.
Thank you, Al. And I love being 71, by the way. I'm from Washington, D.C., your insurrection capital. And maybe it's my age, or maybe it's all these variants, but I rarely know what day it is. Just last Monday, I got up and I got dressed for church. And then I remembered, That's stupid. I don't go to church on Monday morning. I'm Jewish. I don't go to church at all. Hey, I love living in Washington, D.C., except it's getting so expensive. You wouldn't believe what it costs these days to buy a politician. And they're not worth it. Both D.C. and Georgia politicians have tweeted the Jews control the weather. Oh, come on. We haven't been able to control the weather since we left Egypt the first time. And I'll tell you a little secret. If we really wanted that superpower, we'd just keep Manhattan a toasty 78 degrees. So it's Black History Month. And to start it off, apparently Whoopi Goldberg stepped in it. She said something about the Holocaust that offended people, because apparently Whoopi doesn't know that Jews and misery, we go together throughout our history. We just love being dour. We get sadder by the hour. And why not? I mean, we get blamed for all these things that we have no control over. We don't control the banks. We don't control Hollywood. And good God Almighty, we did not sink the Titanic. That was an iceberg, not Goldberg. No relation. Sometimes I wonder, since Jews have always miserable, can you be Jewish without being miserable? Think about it. Moses, famously miserable. Rodney Dangerfield made a career out of being miserable. And me, I gave up gluten because keeping kosher didn't make me miserable enough. I got to tell you, this pandemic has given my adult kids a great excuse for why we can't visit them. Mom, Dad, it's a pandemic. We have to socially distance. Oh, come on, kids. Why can't we come down and visit? You live in our basement. Truth is, my adult kids have been a real disappointment. When I was growing up, I did something really heinous. My mother would say, I hope when you have kids that they're just like you. I should be so lucky. My kids are like my parents. They say things like, my house, my rules. It's COVID out there. Wear a mask. And stop fidgeting. I'm trying to change your diaper. The news is just filled with all this tragedy. I mean, you have a despot that doesn't care about the rights of women and children, and the world just sits back and does nothing about Ron DeSantis. Hey, look, I admit it. I don't like Florida. I mean, give you an example. I went to go fishing in Hermosa, Florida, and I called up Captain Dave Mackey of Fantastic Tours. Captain Dave, can you take me fishing? You bet, Bubba. Captain Dave, do you have your Vax card? Hold on there, Bubba. You're just going to have to trust me that everything's going to be okay. Now let's just get that credit card and get you signed up. Hold on there, Captain Dave. You're just going to have to trust me that everything's going to be okay. Well, needless to say, I did not go fishing. So I decided to take a trip down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to go to the Walmart there and get my 2-year-old granddaughter a booster seat. Man, the old people in Florida love their Walmart. This one has 10,000 parking spots, all handicapped. If you're not handicapped, you got to park over at Forever 21 and Uber over. The customers are so old, the greeters have little bottles of oxygen to top them off.
Oh.
And there was not a single booster seat in the kids section. They were all over in automotive. Seems the old farts down there need them to be able to see over the steering wheel. And then to add insult to injury, on my way back, I got stopped for speeding. Sir, I need to see your license and registration card. Hey, officer, you're just going to have to trust me. Everything will be okay. Sir, you've been spending way too much time with Captain Dave. I'm going to have to cite you for becoming a Florida man. And Florida and DC are so different. In Florida, you got the governor suing schools that are using masks. In DC, Chip will tell you everybody wears a mask, even the rats. I'm talking about the four-legged kind. I saw one sitting on a trash bin the other day with a mask on, which is crazy. You don't have to wear a mask outside. Hey, look, I did not grow up in DC. I grew up in the 1960s in Akron, Ohio. Yeah, dead silence. You know what? Even LeBron left. There was so little to do there that for entertainment, I used to go to evangelical churches to be saved. And I got to see the Reverend Rex Humbard preach at the cathedral tomorrow. He was really amazing. To this day, I can still remember him preaching. I have the power to take away all of your sins. I have the power to take away all of your ills. I have the power to take all major credit cards. And boy, howdy, I wanted that power. So I went to my career counselor and I said, Rabbi, I want to be an evangelical preacher. And that's when I found out they don't let Jews do that. So since I wanted a career abusing people, I decided to be the next best thing, a lawyer. Hey, lawyers aren't that bad. They can be very useful as sleep aids. If you don't believe me, just ask them what they do all day. If you're not asleep in 10 minutes, you're really not paying attention. And I understand that most people like calling lawyers even less than they like calling the undertaker. But if Granny's dead, you got to call the undertaker. And you really ought to call a lawyer if you plan on killing Granny. Because really, it's a good idea to call a lawyer before you do something stupid, because lawyers are a lot like condoms. It's best to use them before you get screwed. Hey, I hate that just because I'm over 70, people think I'm old. That pregnant women on the train give me their seats. And that my only pickup line is help, I've fallen, I can't get up. I get it though. People change as they age. A young man of 22 dreams of having a mistress who's young and sexy and will dress up like a nurse. An old man of 92 dreams of having a mistress that's an actual nurse. The young man really wants his mistress to knock his socks off. The old man, he'd be perfectly happy if she just put him back on. Hey, look, I understand that I will eventually get old and decrepit, that no matter how much pickleball I play or kale I cram down, I only have two choices in this life. I'm either going to die too young or I'm going to live long and fester. Because old age is an attitude, not a number. Well, unless you've been pushed out of your job like I was because of your age, then it's a short tumble. Lose your job, lose all sense of purpose. Before you know it, you are sitting in Boynton Beach, Florida. Hey, I don't think you're old unless your side piece is your night nurse and your spouse appreciates the help. And I'm not old. I walk my dog every day, twice a day for 2 hours. All right, it should only be an hour and a half, but that dog stops every 10 minutes so I can pee. I'm Mark Palchick. If you're in DC, come take a comedy walk. It's an hysterical, not historical walk with the National Mall as a stage. Thanks again.
Mark Palchick. Great stuff, Mark. Love it. You know, I always wonder about commercials like the Life Alert, I've fallen and I can't get up, because no one watches commercials anymore. And it's hard to do comedy about commercials, but I never get laughs with them just like them. So let's move on. I love the next comic. She's a friend. She's also a regular on Ye Olde Mike. She is known as Dr. Bubby, and probably the most the world's most inappropriate grandmother. She's funny. Abby November.
Hello, hello, hello. I hear of comics that always say, how are you? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I don't really ask because I really don't give a shit. I'm honest. They call me Honest Jew back in Brooklyn. And I am a doctor, but I sort of was defracked. If they defract or I lose my coronation, I don't know what the correct term is. It was a minor little, not an accident exactly. I know we have Mark Palchick, the attorney. He's listening for a malpractice case, but it was all settled. The deal is, I don't touch people, but I could write and do research. So I do that, and I'm really good at it. And November, the name Abby November is, I was Miss November. Centerfold. Chip is looking at me. He says, that old whore? No, 1965. Look it up, Chip.
I'm Googling it right now.
Google it right now. Centerfold, Field and Stream. I'm the one holding a 40-pound bass. No, I didn't say ass. I said a 40-pound bass over my hoo-ha. Now, since I'm scientific, I don't use the nasty words that some of the sluts that go up here talk about because I'm clean. I try to say clean. Or I do it in Yiddish. And Al told me, look, not everybody knows Yiddish. You have to be careful what you say because they look at you and say, what the hell did she say? You know, if I say fangul, you know what I'm saying because you watched The Sopranos, right? But if I say gay cockerine, does anybody know what that means? Just Mark. I didn't mean it that way. I wouldn't say it that way. I have all the respect for all these people, except for one or two. But anyway, so I told you about my Miss November background, but my name is really November, Chip, believe it or not, because my husband's name, he will not permit me to use because he was a college professor, and he says, I will be mortified on campus if they see you get up there and say anything dirty. What will they think? They'll think that you're funny because you're grumpy most of the time. But that's neither here nor there. That's Nishkafela. Anyway, I was working yes, I did work, believe it or not. This face was working. And you could tell I'm intelligent. I wear glasses. And I was working in a nursing home. And you know, Mark, the number one health problem in the nursing home, constipation. No shit. But I recommend Metamucil margaritas, Debbie. Prune daiquiris. And if that don't work, take grandma bungee jumping because she'll knock a few rocks right out there. Guaranteed. It's Dr. November's guaranteed. And since I'm from New York, in the old days, back in the 60s, when I was really, really hot and was centerfold and Field and Stream, so I volunteered at the nursing home. When the nurses went on strike, I gave a bed bath to an old lady. Old lady, she's probably my age now. I'm 78. I know I look hot. I look very young. It's all the sex I have in my mind. And so I'm giving her the bed bath, Debbie, and you could see I'm a good Christian. I offered her the washcloth. I said, ma'am, would you like to do your privates yourself? Hell no, you do it. But take your time. You know, I didn't mind accommodating. She was elderly, but smoking and cuddling afterwards? Oh my God, that wasn't in my job description. Well, I got fired. I quit the job. That's neither here nor there, you know. But I decided I would open a store in downtown San Diego, formerly the Red Light District. It's called Psalms and Thongs, Religious Erotica. I may be old, but I'm still got it. You know what I'm saying? And I would have a whole section on erotica or lingerie, Debbie, for women my age. You're too young for this. But I have a real run on Christmas items. They were black lace Depends. Oh, were they hot? And I'm working on a jock strap with extra lining for, you know what, if I'm saying without saying that men need it too. And I had the Depends G-string that was in black lace, matches the special bra I have for old girls. I'm not going to go there, but it will get the girls off the floor, matching your Depends. It's very, very sexy. I had dreidel shaped, for the Jews, dreidel shaped vibrators, and I had to post a warning mark so I wouldn't get sued. It says, make sure you use the correct side of the vibrator. Dreidel shaped vibrator. It was a hot item. My gefilte fish flavored douche did not go over well. I guess that's an acquired taste. And then if there are any my Muslim friends, I had burqas. Instead of the dull black, just plain burqas for those ladies, I said I had them in camo and rainbow if there were any gay that wanted to look a little special. And that was selling off the list. But I also wrote books. I wrote Lube It or Lose It. Sexuality from puberty until you plots. And if you don't know what plots is, ask Mark. All right, it means drop dead, but plots. And my special section, Debbie, is lubrication. Now, you're thinking, well, I'm not gay, I don't need lubrication, and I'm a young hottie, I don't need. We all need lubrication. And I don't mean buying Replens or KY or Vaseline or Astroglide. Go out and use the natural products. Like if you're in the deep south of the US, God save your soul, but you can use lard. It's plentiful, right? Very plentiful. And what I'm saying is lard has to be heated though. You didn't know that. Put it in a baby bathtub and put all your orifices. Now you're all intelligent people here. We've been around, you know what an orifice is. I don't have to, Dr. Abby doesn't have to teach you. That lard is wonderful. You'll be so lubricated, and whatever's left over, Al, makes great flaky pie crust. Now, if you're kosher, like Mark is, use chicken fat or schmaltz. Make it hot. Make it hot. Get those orifices lubed up, and whatever's left over is great natural penicillin chicken soup. Now, the other night, I found out from one of my gay friends that he recommends egg whites as a lubricant. And it's wonderful because whatever's left over, you have meringues. Debbie, meringues are delicious desserts, but they're also great, great lubricants. And because the weather in the country has been so erratic, particularly in the Northeast and parts of the Midwest, I recommend the Dr. Abby emergency kit. One, have your booze, you need liquids or your Metamucil margarita. Two, have protein bars or even the egg white. And three, always have a tube of lube, Dr. November's lube. And you can use the egg white lube because you never know when you're in a tight spot, right? You might need to squeeze out of a very, very tight spot. And that's why I recommend, oh my God, we had flavored lubes for Christmas, lubrication flavored with rosemary or thyme or sage, or I like the vanilla flavored. I'm kind of a vanilla person, and I like that flavoring, and it's low calorie too. So I see that the light is calling me at 78. It says, you've had enough time on this earth. They want this old fat Jew with a mustache off the screen. No, I don't have a mustache anymore, Dwantante. I shaved this morning for the show. I want to thank you for allowing me to perform for all these wonderful people. Even if there are some sluts in the audience, I don't care. I have respect for everybody. The main thing is be kind to everybody and wash your hands, and don't be a schmuck, wash your nuts. Bye.
All right, let's hear it for Abby November from San Diego. Wonderful stuff, Abby. But, you know, every time you talk about the dreidel as a vibrator,
Yeah.
I don't know which side is the right side. I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Let's hear
Not
it for
supposed to.
Abby November. Very funny stuff, Abby. Thank you.
Thank
Are
you, young man.
Ready for
Thank
the
you.
next comment? Sure. Are you ready for the next comment? He's very funny. He's been on Social Security Influencers #2. He's back for #4. He's a smart guy trapped in a fat guy's body from the nation's capital, Chipp Jones.
Yay! Thank you. It's good to be back. Hopefully my Social Security check will be larger this time, right? Is that the way that works? The longer you're on, the bigger it gets. And I'll send you guys that picture of Abby. That was a lucky fish. I'll tell you, it was a lucky fish. So Abby, are you going to do a book like Chicken Soup is good for your hole? I think is that the new one?
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on? Old guy stuff. My wife tells me that when I'm clean shaven, I look 10 years younger. And it's true, except now my balls are freezing. Oh, man, it's just, I don't know. I do have all those old guy problems. Like, I'm at that age now. If I'm up after midnight, 50% of the time is because I have to go to the bathroom, and the other 50% is because I got to go again. I mean, it's just horrible. I am jealous of young guys, I know the young guys with that steady stream, they're like little firemen with their fire hoses just blasting away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I'm your fireman, your house is burning to the ground. Let me tell you. When I go, it's more like a ketchup pump at McDonald's, sort of squirt, squirt, squirt. I'll be honest with you. Most of the time I sit when I pee, which can be awkward at a urinal. I'll be honest. My doctor now books me for 2 appointments if I have to pee in a cup, which I think is just rude. I think that's rude. I've got that thing now where I've got hair growing in weird places, like the tops of my ears, A few weeks back, I had this long strand growing out of my ear. I went to pull on it and my leg went up. I was like, I said, you know what? I'm just going to tie this one off just in case. Some days I have to shave the knuckles of my toes to get them in my shoes. I mean, it's almost like I'm not growing old so much as I'm turning into a hobbit. I'll be looking for a quest sometime soon. I don't know. I am also, like many African Americans, I suffer from big bones. It's compounded by the fact that I'm fat. I tried running, but I found I could only run if there was a Popeyes at the end of it. So I'm no longer a runner. I don't know. Did you ever go to a McDonald's and order so much food that you bought a second soda simply because you didn't want the people behind the counter to know you're going to eat all that yourself? Is that just me? Okay. All right. What else is going on? They tell me that if you do something for 30 days, you can create a habit. And it is Black History Month, where we commemorate what Black people have done for American history. And it's interesting that it's in February with 28 days. So it's kind of like they said, yeah, we'll do it, but let's not make a habit of it, I am in Washington, DC. And I don't know if you know this, but we had a little dust up here. January 6th, a year ago, anniversary just passed, where some people attacked the Capitol. It was in all the papers for a while. I actually have a white conservative neighbor who was down at the Capitol that day. He didn't actually attack the Capitol, but he was in the Trump rally beforehand. And I just had to tell him, I said, those Trump rallies are racist. And he said to me, he goes, no, they're not. He goes, I was there and there were a lot of Black people at that rally. I kind of get what he means, because I know if I went to a Trump rally and I saw one Black person, I'd be like, man, there are a lot of Black people at this Trump rally. probably the only time a black guy and a conservative white guy agreed on what a lot of black people were. It was one. And a lot of time when a conservative white guy tells you he's got a lot of black friends, that's what he means. He's got one. So, but I don't know. I've been feeling weird Black History Month because, it seemed like we were making traction in 2020 with the BLM movement. We had corporate America let, Aunt Jemima and Mrs. Butterworth and Uncle Ben off the corporate plantation, which was really cool. It was cool that we got to go first because a lot of times black people don't get to go at all. I could have seen them starting out with, I don't know, child labor and letting little Debbie and Wendy off, or maybe going for gay rights again and finally letting the Brawny Man and Mr. Clean declare their love, Yeah, that one's always been a little sad to me because they're usually on the same aisle, but they're never allowed to be side by side, So I don't know. But we did get a holiday out of it, Juneteenth. White America discovered the commemoration of the black slaves in Texas who didn't know for 2 years that they were free. So now we have a national Juneteenth celebration. Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm down with that. Because you know how America is. I could see turning on my radio in June and hearing, "Swing low, sweet chariot. You need a new chariot? Come on down to Coons Ford. We'll get you in a Tahoe today." Still waiting on that reparations check, 0% financing. Come on in, Or maybe on the TV, you got, "I got to lay down my burdens on this sleepy memory foam mattress." Come on into our Juneteenth celebration. Everything in the store, 3/5 the price. Yay. Yeah, some people groan at that, but 3/5 the price means 40% off. You're going. You're going. But I don't know. Maybe that's how we strike at racism, discounts, What if everything was 50% off for Malcolm X Day, Or maybe for, the whole month of Black History Month, everything at Walmart, 60% off, Then we'd have our white allies, telling the police not to kill us because they could cut it to their discount, Maybe that's the way we attack it. But the thing I'm most afraid of is now that it's a national holiday, that Hallmark's going to start making cards. Yeah. I can see my white friends and coworkers sending me crazy cards. Like I get a card that says, "Hey, I'm sorry about slavery." Open it up. It was a cotton picking shame. What? Or there's a card on my desk that says, "Hey, it's been over 140 years since we had slavery." Open it up. Isn't that all just watermelon under the bridge?
Oh.
Yeah. Signed, Debbie and the girls in HR. Who do I complain to now? Or maybe somebody to go high tech with one of those record your own message cards, personalize it. Front of the card says, "Are you still mad about slavery?" I open it up and it just screams, "Nigga, please. Nigga, please. Nigga, please." Yeah. I know. Now I'm in trouble for stabbing everybody at my job. But I am old enough to remember when TV was in black and white. And by that, I mean, it was a lot of white and just a little bit of black. And then we moved into Technicolor, which I think stood for technically you could have one person of color on your show. That's when I fell in love with Star Trek, because of the beautiful Nichelle Nichols, Uhura. But that wasn't really moving the race forward because she was basically a secretary answering the phone in space. For me, Star Trek moved us forward when we got the Next Generation. Because on that, we had Geordie LaForge, the engineer, who was a blind black guy, and everybody considered him a genius. And he didn't play piano or sing at all. I was like, yeah. Now we are moving forward. But I am married. I'll tell you that. I've been married for 30 years. Yeah, give it up for my wife. She deserves it. And I was doing that due diligence. I was checking all the wedding websites to see what the gift was for 30 years. And the gift for 30 years is pearl. Pearl is the gift for 30 years. But when I went to my bank website, it said back rub. Back rub was the gift for 30 years. So my wife got a nice back rub and a nice card from Wells Fargo. But that's the deal. 30 years into a marriage, gifts are different, when you're first married, you're still not that real person, you're trying to still display that person you were during dating. So all the gifts are big, jewelry and diamonds, all that stuff. Yeah. Once you make that mistake of not having a big gift for an early wedding or Christmas gift. I remember, I think we had been married like 2 years, and my wife did that trick that no man should fall for. She's like, oh, this Christmas we're strapped for cash. Let's not give gifts to each other. We'll give gifts to everybody else, but we'll save money and not give gifts to each other. Mark's laughing because he knows that trick. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Christmas Day, she pulls out a big gift. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I thought we weren't giving gifts. What? You didn't get me anything? Oh, man. You would not believe how hard it is to buy jewelry at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. It's like, it is pretty hard. So I always tell young guys who are moving into a relationship, marriage, or actually moving in and sharing a home with somebody, always buy a gift and have it stashed in the house somewhere. A secret gift that you have, early on when they come home and say, oh, it's our 55th week anniversary. You've got a present for it, and get a card, have a card there as well. But make sure the card is blank. I made that mistake too, of handing a card and she opened it up and it said Happy Hanukkah. Oops. Yeah, don't fall for that. Early in relationships, you can do things too, like let your significant other choose anything in the house, chairs, lamps, all the cooking utensils, whatever, but always choose the couch, because you and that couch are going to be friends. You're going to spend some time on that. Make sure you can stretch out, full length, that you can take a nice long nap on it, because you will spend some nights on that bad boy. But my life, what else is going on in my life? I just recently got back from a funeral. My aunt passed, and I realized that I haven't been in church in many, many years. These churches now, man, they are decked out, high tech. This church had flat screens everywhere, and when they put the hymns up, they had all the words and stuff. I was a little disappointed because, I figured if they had the lyrics up there, at least they could have the little bouncing ball to keep everybody in cadence. I mean, what is that, something like that, And I guess they didn't appreciate that I was using it like karaoke. I was asking for 3 times a later, 3 times a lady at least twice, but they never would play that one. So, but that is life. I have been thinking about death a lot lately. I think it's probably from Corona, and I've had people that have passed. I recently had a friend from Canada who had been living in the US for 30 years who passed. And it was weird because his family got into an argument about where his ashes should go now that he's passed. The Canadians wanted to go back to Canada. The Americans wanted to stay here. And I started to think somebody should make a glass urn, so that the family could divvy up the ashes, and you could start to stack your family on top of each other, kind of like sand art, you could have everybody in there, and people could come in and go, ooh, look at that little dark patch there. To have somebody of color in your family? Is that what that was? I'm glad you guys didn't laugh, because we burn the same shade of ashes as everybody else. But I think on our side, if Uncle Stanley passes, we got to make sure his ashes stay at the top, because he was a raging alcoholic, and I know that we could probably light those bad boys and turn it into a candle. So, but where am I going with my life? I think I'm coming up on my time, so I'll leave you with this. last pondering. Yeah, I'm concerned about the way race relations are going lately. There are people trying to stop Black History Month, and it starts with the kids. And I had a disturbing episode recently. I was in downtown DC, and this little 6-year-old white girl was walking in front of me, and she looked back and saw me, and she immediately took her Barbie purse and she moved it to the other side of her body, and she clutched it really tight. And I gotta admit, it made me a little sad. I think mostly because it meant I had to knock her to the ground to snatch it. I was like, yeah, this race isn't working out for either one of us. But in closing, I'll tell you though, I had been spending some time during the lockdown and quarantine working on me, trying to be the better person. Because like most comedians, I have issues, if you haven't noticed. It turned out I found out I had terrible road rage. A bird pooped on my windshield and I followed him back to his nest to pee in it. It's not a good look. But luckily the lady who was watching me out of her second-story window called a couple cops to help me down out of that tree. Yeah, because when you're in rage, you can scamper up a tree like a squirrel, but coming down's a little bit different. Coming down, you're a sex offender. At least that's what the judge called me. So now that I've informed you, I can let you go. My name's Chipp Jones with DC, and I thank you guys for listening.
All right, Chipp Jones, love it, Chip. Great stuff. Every time I hear you, I get some insights. But I got to tell you, you did a joke about a TV commercial, and you got a fucking laugh. So it's my joke. I love it. Thank you. Chipp Jones from the nation's capital. Great stuff, Chip. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready for our headliner. She's been doing comedy for 35 years. She doesn't look it. She looks young. And she's known as the humor nurse, because she believes in the healing nature of laughter, which I think we all do. It's one of the reasons we do it. And she delivers. She's definitely funny. So here she is. We're very excited she's back. She was also on our number 2 show. Give it up for Miss Debbie Wooten.
Thank you. Everybody was so hilarious. These little young comedians wish they could be as funny as us, but it's gonna take a few years to get like us. They need to be. I hope they're taking notes on how you do comedy, because everybody was funny. Everybody. I have done shows with some of these other young girls, and I'd be like, if I can just get through this phone and. They got it going on. But thank you for saying I look young. Thank you. People want to know what's the secret to my youth, and I said, well, fried chicken and pizza. Guacamole is what I use. Every time I feel a wrinkle, I just have a second to blow that bitch right out. So that's what I do. So, but I know you probably see my hand is in a special glove. I got some problem with my hand. Years and years of doing this, really taking this toll. And one night it just locked in this position. And I went to the emergency room, and boy, was I embarrassed. I didn't want to tell the doctor what was going on, but he said, well, if you can't tell me, can you show me what happened to your hand? I said, close the curtains. So what happened? But no, I'll be 66 next week. And so I'm looking forward to getting to 69. I'm going to be practicing 69 here from 66 to 69. I'm going to practice 69. Every time they ask me how old I am, I'm 69. I'm 69. God agree, that's a great number. But I might be the only person on this show that has a real disability. I have polio and spinal bifida, and that's why I'm really serious about everybody should get their shot, because I didn't get my shot when I was a baby, and I got polio. And a lot of young people, they don't even know what polio is. That's how old polio is. Mm-hmm. And see, maybe some of the young old people don't even know, but polio is a brain virus. It affects the signals in your brain that makes your arms move, your legs move, your lungs breathe, your ability to pick the right man, things like that. Oh, yes, I know a lot of people had polio and didn't even know it. That was weird. But, you okay down there, Abby? You just,
Yeah,
you just,
I'm right
okay,
here.
give me that beautiful smile now, because I'm looking at you, honey. I'm looking at you, you know. Don't look at me like I'm a
You're a-
Black Science Project. I know it's Black History Month, but maybe smile and laugh, okay? All
You
right,
are a
good,
young
okay,
hottie.
all right, good. Quality control. Y'all my cheerleaders. Yeah, but you know, I don't want you, I didn't say that for you to feel sorry for me. No, because I still think, you know, at 65 years old, I still think I'm kind of a diva, you know,
Mhm.
kind of a hoochie mama. I think I'm still kind of sexy,
Mhm.
kind of a hoe.
Oh.
I'm a poly hoe. That's what I really am.
Poly
I'm a
hoe.
poly hoe. And once you go poly hoe, you never go back. Because see, there's a difference between a regular hoe and a poly hoe. See, a regular hoe, you don't gonna get her leg this far back because she got good, strong leg muscles. But a poly hoe leg drop all the way back. It's like Barbie, you know. Barbie ain't got nothing on me. Woo! Yeah, you know, so you gotta just accentuate the positives, you know. Yes, our bodies are changing. These young women, they don't understand the things that's gonna be happening to their bodies. They getting all these, and the men getting all these tattoos and body piercings all over their body, getting these holes in unnatural places. You know, those holes look good when they're young, but when they get my age, their grandkids gonna use those same holes for ring toss. They don't even understand. And the tattoos is just ridiculous. Now, tattoos ain't nothing new. We had tattoos back in the 60s, you know, we had dignity without tattoos. We had flower power, you know. And I got me a little flower. I'm sitting on it right now. It's kind of a garden. It's a whole big garden now. It's got a couple of houses sitting behind it, overlooking the freeway. That's all the stretch marks weaving in and out of the garden, all behind the house. It's so big now, every time I put them all across the alley, it's gonna be a little town, you know. So. A tattoo I wish the hell I would have got was a tattoo of a big juicy tit on each side of my chest. That's right. It would be perfect right now. Why didn't I do that? You know, I'd be hot, really hot. But now these young women don't understand. They got them nice tits. Tits are nice. Look what the young women got. They got tits. I remember having tits, but now I'm old. Now I got titties. And you gotta earn titties. You just don't wake up with titties. You gotta earn titties. It takes years to get titties. You know, so when you get tits, you just wake up with more. Mom, what are these? They're tits. But titties, you know when they're titties, because it'd be like old window shades. Roll them up in the morning, them down at night. That's when they're titties. One thing about tits that's really beautiful, tits create cleavage. Did you know that? Yeah, they create cleavage. They rub up against each other. I love you. I love you. When they become titties, don't you touch me. I'm going to the army with shades at. They don't like each other. They want a divorce. Yeah, I mean, but one thing about tits too, you can it's strong. You can put your credit card in your tits, you can put your phone in your tits, and your tits say, I got it. I'm a tit. I'm strong. Ooh. I put my phone in my tits. Ooh, let your panties catch that. That's way too heavy for us. We can't hold that. We do that. But one thing about titties, you can multitask with titties. Can't do that with tits because they're too forward thinking. I be at home in the kitchen washing dishes, and my man come in there and say, baby, let me kiss them titties. I said, I'm busy in the kitchen washing dishes. Here, go in the living room, sit down, and bring it back when you finish. Woo! See, if it was in person, I could just sling it out there to anybody who's thirsty. Yeah, right. That's how I go. That's how I go. But this body will take you through a lot of changes. You know, that's why you gotta love your inner qualities. And if I can get these young women to understand why you gotta get my age to understand if you really want a good man, you gotta look at him from the inside, not the outside. The inside qualities really count, but we don't learn that till we get old. We be going for, he gotta be this tall, he gotta be this size and this long and all that stuff. But the inner qualities is what makes a relationship. And that's why these young women need to start dating ugly men. They're less picked over, less chance to get a nasty disease from them, because they never get none. And then when they're your boyfriend, they just so happy. They just be all like, you my boyfriend, huh? I'm your boyfriend, you my girlfriend. Can I get you something from the bar? Like a new car, house? Anything. I like it with men. And these women, okay, I have a disability, but these women are discriminating against good men who have disabilities. Yes, like, you know, we need to stop being just, discriminating against people. Love them from the inside and start dating blind men. Ladies, start dating the blind men. I know what you're thinking. Yes, they got to read a little braille with their fingertips. But my old ass like a encyclopedia for them. You know what I'm saying? I want a dyslexic. Read it again. Take you all night. You can read this. Men with cerebral palsy, Parkinson's, give these men a chance. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, they shake real bad, but you get them hands and fingers shaking in the right places. That's all I'm saying. That these good men are good, Oh, my men start being quiet now. They're not laughing no more. You're taking notes. Okay, that's good. But Mark, I love your hairstyle. I love your hair. It took years to get that. And you got that from your wife rubbing the top of it off, going, good boy, keep your butt right on down there. That's right. Yeah, you're a downtown boy. I know that, Southern boy. You know what a dream man looks like to me? Blind, bald, and palsy. That's a dream man. I'll fight you in the street for him. I will. Yes. Well, I don't mean to brag or nothing, but I've been married 42 years. Thank you. That's 4 husbands, but I think it should count. They're more like college credits to me. They're cute. And I tell you, I got some hell of a story. My first husband, he's still alive because he's too mean to die. I call him my husband. It's easy. I don't say ex. I say husband. Takes less muscles in your jaws to say it. Husband. Yeah. Then my next 3 husbands all passed away in a row. Yes, all passed away in a row. Oh. And in fact, I lost my last husband just last year. But do you know, I still have the nerve enough to believe in the security of marriage? Yes, I do. Social Security really paid good. I ran all the way down to the office. How much this time? I want to get married again. Can you believe it? I really do want to get married again, but I'm scared because I'm old and I don't have time now to be finding out what the hell is wrong with the next guy. I'm old. I don't have time to find out what kind of crazy your ass is. So I'm only going to date a man who's already a patient at the mental hospital. They come with a chart. I need a man with instructions. That's all I'm saying. I go on Sunday afternoon. That's when they bring them all out to the day room. I just sing to them. How much is that side? Go in the window. They like, and they'll come over to me. I always check one out for a lunch date, take them out. We sitting at the table, we go, hey, Tabby, I'm crazy about you. Yeah, I read about it on page 4, what kind of crazy your ass is. Thank you very much. And I got a chart too, I'm not all there either. So I give them my chart, I just want to know what kind of crazy, I can deal with some crazy. I don't want no surprise crazy. That's all I'm talking about. I give them all a chance, So, but I was looking at how different these kids is acting compared to our kids. We were so naive and so innocent. Now I had polio since I was 5 months old, but only been Black since I was 7. And that was the shot in polio. Because back in my day, they segregated everything. They didn't let handicapped kids go to school with normal kids. They said that we were special and not normal, and those kids were normal. And so I grew up, and all I wanted to be with was the normal kids. And I grew up and found out I ain't seen nobody normal yet. I haven't met where the hell are these normal people at? Anyway, so I came home from school from the polio institution one night, and they had just in 1963, and they had just had the big riot down south. And I'm looking at the television, and they're showing the Black people getting hosed up against the wall, and the dogs was biting them, and the police were hitting them with their billy clubs. And then my mother got really upset about it. And then for the first time, I noticed my mother was dark and Black like the people on the TV. I had never noticed my mother had a skin color before. So I put my arms around, and I said, I feel so sorry for you people. Don't nobody like y'all. Ooh, I'm glad I ain't Black. My mama said, baby, I'm your mama. If I'm Black, you just another shade of brown. If I'm Black, you Black too. I said, I'm polio. You say you're Black too. I said, I'm mixed? What? That was weird. Yes, that's what I found out, that children, the babies are born to love. They don't care what color you are. They just want to love, but somebody ruined it for us. So we all have to work on that, every one of us, and bring the love back.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of people, famous people had polio. Did you know that? Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you know Mia Farrow has polio? Alan Alda has polio. McConnell, the politician, he has polio. Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson's mother, or Janet Jackson's mother too,
Mhm.
she has polio.
Mhm.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Miss Jackson showed us little polio girls that we too can grow up and marry a fucked up, abusive man and have a bunch of babies, just like normal girls. Isn't that wonderful? And so I wound up being the proud mother of 5 failed birth control methods. Thank you. I have 4 kids born 9.5 months after my birthday. My birthday is the day after Valentine's Day. I was like so despondent. Every November, I'm having a baby. Told my husband, I said, can I just get a cake and card like everybody else? My ass. Golly. And I was in the living room with my last son, and the doctor asked me and my husband, said, congratulations, are you both Jewish? And I'm like, doctor, we're Black, African American. Why would you think we were Jewish? He said, only reason why I'm asking, because your baby's born with a little cap on his head. I said, that's a damn diaphragm. I knew I had it all. But he grew up and he has his own law firm. He's a lawyer in Seattle, Washington. So we are Jewish. Yeah. Hey. Woo. Yeah. Having 5 kids, I've been a mother over 240 years. That's a long time. I'm burnt out. And I had my kids real young. I had my kids so young that when I go to the old folks home, they'll be down the hall. I can see us all sitting in the day room in our rocking chairs. Hey kids, we're all back together again, huh? Hey. I love the bibs you got on today. They look real cute. Hey, somebody made a duty. Who made a duty? But don't ask me to change the diaper this time. Okay, that's my little fantasy. I can't wait. We will be back together again. Because really, I'm not having a lot of joy having grown kids. I don't like having, my oldest daughter will be 50 years old on her next birthday. I cannot believe I got a 50-year-old coming up here. A half a century. Oh my goodness. It's scary, And I don't like my sons. They all got Mark's hairstyle now and gray hair. And I'm like, who are these old men? Where's my babies at? So I'm despondent. I am despondent because they tell you what to do. All of a sudden, I went from knowing everything to not knowing nothing. How did this happen? One of my sons told me, see, Mama, I'm a man. And as a man, you don't understand some things because I'm a man and you're a woman. I'm saying, let me tell you what you didn't understand. You didn't know what your little wee-wee was. Nope, you didn't know what that was. You fell in the diaper and you said, what is that? I didn't like it. Yeah, your best friend. Now, I'm going to be like November. I don't want to say vulgar words like, dick. Because dick is a bad word now. You can't say dick, it's vulgar. But we all came from the dick-friendly generation. We came from the generation when dick was a good American name. We had dick in every color rainbow. We had Black Dick Gregory, Dick Clark, Dick Buckets, Dick Tracy. We even had a big old dick swimming in the ocean, Moby Dick. Back in our day, we even had a president, Tricky Dick. See, these guys only know about bushes, but we had a dick. The first dick was our dick. And we're real comfortable saying dick. We have no problem saying dick. We're the baby boomers. We're the baby boomers. We're the boom boom generation. Well, we lost a couple of boom booms, but we're still the boom generation. Yeah, see, I'm comfortable saying dick because I was introduced to dick when I was 6 years old. Yes, I was. And y'all have to stop. Excuse me. My phone.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Whoa, we lost Debbie.
Oh, I think she
Oh
actually.
shit! I am
think-
not Debbie Wooten. Let me tell you all that. My hair ain't done and everything. Y'all motherfuckers got me slipping. That's been Debbie. Back to our host, Al. Tell everybody goodbye, Al.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dante. Thank you, Debbie.
I think
She's so
she'll,
funny.
I think she'll come back. She'll come back.
I was gonna warn her, Valentine's Day is coming up. You know, she may be hitting that maternity ward again in November. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dante. Thank you, Abby, Mark, Chip.
Thank you.
What a great show.
Thank you, Al.
Social Security number 4 in the book. Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. And we'll see you next time on Social Security Influencers.